B'yam Darkecha on Sefirat Omer, the internal aspect of the midah of Tiferet and the way it's revealed in the world. Tiferet, we're going to be trying to explain that word, and it has many different explanations. Just to start off a little bit: glory, harmony, mercy, splendor, beauty. There's a whole bunch of different ways that it can be explained, but B'ezrat Hashem, we're going to let the book do the talking. Right? What is Tiferet? Midat Tiferet hi ha'meshalevet ve'hamechra ben ha'chesed le'gvura. What is Tiferet? It is the mixer and the subduer, the force that binds chesed and gvura. Ki ha'chesed inyeno hashpa'a bli gvul. What's the idea of chesed? Giving over without limitations. V'ilo ha'gvura inyena tzimtzum ve'hagbara. What is gvura? The opposite. It's limitations and boundaries. V'atiferet machriya b'nehem. Tiferet comes and settles between the two. Kama lashpia ve'kama letzamtzem. How much to give over and how much to hold back. Right? V'shiluv shnei dvarim yachad. The mixture of these two together. Liot davar echad nachon u'matim nika tiferet. The mixture of chesed and tiferet and gvura together in the proper way that's fitting for what needs to be made. That outcome is called tiferet. From the word pe'er in Hebrew. Pe'er is splendor, glory, beauty. כי פאר הוא יופי הנעשה על ידי שילוב של שני דברים שונים להיות דבר אחד. What is pear? In Hebrew there's many different words for beauty. Right? This word specifically is the mixture of two different things together that when they come together as one, it's such a harmonious mixture that's called pear. Right? Stam yofi, just the word yofi, beauty in Hebrew, right? That's devar echad na'eh. That's one good thing, right? It's one unique individual thing that's beautiful. Aval pe'er, that's a shiluv nifla shel kama dvarim. It's a wondrous mixture of a few different things that become one. Zoi Sefirat Tiferet. This is the sphere of Tiferet. Asher hi achad ma'amidot shebehem manhig Hashem yitbarach et olamo. It's one of the midot. It's one of the traits that Hashem uses. One of the spherot that Hashem uses to lead the world. V'hi hamidah sheba Hashem yitbarach machriya v'chol hashpa'a shu mashpia kama ve'ech hi tieh. Tiferet, so to say, is the way, the vehicle that Hashem decides anytime He's going to bring down Shefa to the world, how much and to who and how is it going to come out. Right? It's the vehicle that takes everything that Hashem wants to bring down and puts all the limitations and the amount of light, boom, makes the package, right? What is the midah of Tiferet? Dveikut. Dveikut to Hashem, clinging to Hashem. When Hashem starts to bring the light down and dwell the light of Tiferet on a person. That light causes you to feel immense dveikut, immense clinging to Hashem, attachment to Hashem. What is dveikut? It's a relationship, it's a connection with pleasantness, with taste, with benefit, with pleasure. Therefore, it's an outcome of Tiferet. Because when a person feels something specific has pe'er, and it has good, it has beauty, splendor in it, a mixture of harmony, and it has good in it, it connects you to that thing, and it makes you want to stick and cling to that thing. And it gives you this passion, this desire to want to connect to that harmony. Right? So too, when Hashem acts with mercy in the world, Tiferet in the world, then the Jew recognizes that, and he knows that Hashem is the truth. And he's the beauty behind everything. And he's completion, and he's the wholesomeness aspect, the harmony of everything. And Hashem is the only true good and the only good pleasure, the only real pleasure. That causes the Jew to feel, I want to cling to Hashem in actuality, and like I want to feel it, I want to live it. Right? Therefore, a part that's inseparable from the work of Tiferet is to praise Hashem, and to have glory in Hashem, to adore Hashem, and to deal with His greatness. This all causes the person to an arousal of a desire to lidabek Hashem, to cling to Hashem. What is Dveikut? Dveikut b'Hashem yitbarach pirusha The definition of Dveikut is שאדם חושב עליו יתברך כל הזמן, that you think about Hashem יתברך all the time, ומרגיש מחובר עמו יתברך בכל ליבו, and you feel connected to Hashem with all of your heart, והוא חש בכל נימי נפשו שהשם יתברך עמו. You feel with every little nerve end of your soul that you are connected to Hashem and He's with you. ויש לאדם הנאה עצומה מהדבקות בהשם יתברך. A person has immense pleasure with dveikut in Hashem. והוא מתענג מהמחשבה והקשר וההרגשה בהשם יתברך. And you take immense pleasure just in thinking about the relationship and the connection and the feeling of Hashem. הוא מקבל התפארות וחיות מזה. You receive this adornment, this beauty, this splendor, this glory, this connection of harmony, of mercy, from just knowing that you're connected to Hashem. כי בדבקות עם השם יתברך יש תענוג עצום לנפש. When a person has dveikut, that's an immense pleasure for your soul. תענוג שנמשך מעצמות הקשר שבין המציל לנאצל. It's a pleasure that comes from the essence of the connection of the creator and the creation. The most finest point that connects us back to Hashem, that's what you're feeling when you have dveikut. והדבקות אינה מעלת חסידות בעלמא. Working on dveikut is not some work for the really rich, the really pious and holy religious people. אלא היא מצווה גמורה מדאורייתא. It's a mitzvah d'oraita. It's one of the 613 mitzvot. It's one of the mitzvot that we're commanded to do. וכמו שכתב במסילת ישרים, like the מסילת ישרים wrote, the Ramchal in the Path of the Just, and this is what he said, ועל הדבקות הזהרנו בתורה פעמים רבות. He says we were commanded about dveikut in the Torah many times. לאהבה את השם אלוהיכם ולדבקה בו, right? To love Hashem your God and to cling to Him. ובו תדבק, and to Him you shall cling. ובו תדבקון, and to Him you shall cling. ודוד אמר, דבקה נפשי אחריך. Right? David HaMelech said, my soul is clinging after you, trying to chase after you, to hold on to you. V'inyan kol ela psukim echad. What's the idea of all of these psukim? There's one idea here. Shu adveikut she'adam mitadbek bo yitbarach. The idea that you have an obligation to cling to Hashem. She'no yochol lipared ve'lezuz mimeno. You're not allowed to separate yourself and to move 1 millimeter from Hashem. Zohi adveikut. This is dveikut. She'kol Yehudi rotze ba. Every Jew wants this. Agashat hachibur hapnimi im Hashem yitbarach, an internal feeling of connection to Hashem. V'chinat Elohai bekirbi, my God is in my midst. Lidabek imo, to be clinging with Hashem, להרגיש אחד איתו, to feel one with Him. והחיבור הפנימי הזה של הדבקות בא עם עונג עצום ועם חשק גדול. When you manage to make this connection, this internal connection called dveikut, it comes with immense pleasure and great passion for more. ויש לכל נפש יהודית תענוג בעצם החיבור והקשר העמוק עם השם יתברך. Every single Jewish soul has immense pleasure, right? And this really goes for the whole entire world, right? Immense pleasure with having that deep internal connection with Hashem, just in the fact that He created me and I'm His creation. At the most simple point. So to everything you're doing in your service of Hashem, בלימוד תורתו, when you come to learn Torah, when you come to do mitzvot, Shem ofanei itgaluto. Those are ways that Hashem is revealed in the world. There's ways to connect to Hashem, right? Mitzvah, you can read it commandment, or you can read it tzavta, a point to connect, a tzevet, a way to connect with Hashem, right? ועומק נפשו של כל יהודי משתוקקת לדבקות וחושקת בחיבור הנפלא הזאת. Right? Every single Jew in the depth of their soul is just longing for dveikut. And this feeling, right, is they just long for this immense, powerful feeling of being clinging to Hashem. Everyone can get used to this according to their level. To start to develop the feelings of dveikut in yourself. To feel this immense pleasure and connection to Hashem in your soul. Right? So what is Dveikut as well? It's the middle point between Ahava and Ira, between love and awe of Hashem. Like Tiferet is between Chesed and Gvura, so too the outcome of Tiferet, which is Dveikut, is the middle point between Ahava and Ira, right? It's the middle point between the love and the awe that comes out of it. All the ideas of emotions and feelings of ahava and ira and dveikut, of love and awe and dveikut, כולם הם תוצאה של ההכרה הברורה והחיה במציאות השם יתברך, right? All of these feelings of love and awe and clinging to Hashem, all of them are an outcome of the clear recognition, a living recognition of Hashem's reality in the world, right? And the recognition of how great Hashem is and how much He loves us. What is it? It's a connection of our heart to Hashem. But the idea of love is it's this appreciation of Hashem, this longing to connect to Hashem. It brings a feeling of belonging, right? A feeling of belonging and a desire to connect. And what's the side of awe in Hashem? It's the same thing. I appreciate Hashem so much. I value Hashem so much. So I don't want to disrespect Him. I don't want to harm His honor. So to fear to go against the will of what He decreed on us. God forbid the connection, this amazing connection I have with Hashem, which should be interrupted at all. Dveikut is feeling the connection of these two together. Like glue, right? In Hebrew, dveikut, devik is glue, right? Tape, devik. So devik, what does it do? It takes two different things and it makes them one, right? It connects them as one. So too, this is what we're talking about. That the soul of the person feels connected and clinging and glued to the light of the Creator, blessed be He, right? This is immense, powerful, pleasant feeling. This is an outcome of love. The desire to come closer, and the feeling of I belong to Hashem, I'm connected to Hashem, I have a relationship with Him, I love Him. Right? It's the root of the connection and the dveikut. But hidden inside dveikut, you also have the power of ira, which is the fear of losing that connection. That also causes you to try harder to have more dveikut, right? Because you're scared of losing your connection to Hashem, so you try to hold on to it. And to hold on to it with all of your power, right? Right? There's another idea here. Right? Love is this spreading out. Therefore, you can love some abstract, far away thing, right? You can love something you have no connection to, kind of. But gvura is coming into yourself and constricting. Therefore, fear and awe is from something that's close, or that could come closer to me. Only from something that's close to you can you really feel fear from, right? Dveikut is the mixture of both of them, because on one side it's the movement of the soul of connection, right? With that, it's a movement of spreading out. That it's like love. On the other side, on the other side, right, dveikut, like fear. Fear, I can only be scared of something that's close to me, that's possibly can affect me, that can harm me, right? Love, I can love something distant from me, I can love something very far because love spreads out. Fear is coming in. But Dveikut has both, because on Dveikut, on one hand, I'm trying to cling to Hashem, that's my love going outwards. On the other side, Dveikut is this tight hug with Hashem. So it's like closeness, like ira, like gvura, like tzimtzum. Right? So this amazing mixture between both with this idea of ira. And when it comes to avodat Hashem, ahava, love, is this feeling, a strong feeling in the heart. But it's a feeling you can feel from a distance as well. I can love Hashem without really feeling Him down here in the creations. Dveikut though is when I'm connected on my soul, I feel it. Like glue that puts two things together. והרגשת חיבור, this feeling of connection, אי אפשר להרגיש שאם אין כל כך שניהם נמצאים יחדיו, right? You can't really feel that if you don't have אהבה and יראה together, if you don't really have them both there. ולכן התפארת הוא שילוב של החסד והגבורה. Therefore, Tiferet mixes the two together, chesed and gvura, because chesed is the recognition of the great shefa that Hashem is bringing down in the world and how much He loves us and how great He is in everything that He does. And gvura is the recognition that Hashem is here with us, mamash, like a king over his servants, and He's seeing everything we're doing. And that recognition of being together with Hashem at any moment creates this fear of getting punished, the fear of going against the will of the king. And this nullification of the grayness, me, how small I am in front of Hashem, that is everything, right? And these two together, the feeling of love of chesed, with the feeling of the recognition of the reality of Hashem that's here with me right now, that's revealed by way of gvura, both of them together, they make Tiferet, which is Dveikut, which is feeling closeness and love to Hashem, but in a way of connection to be together as one, right? Which is that constriction, that glue that puts two and makes it one, right? So it's love, but tzimtzum, right? Very, very interesting explanation of it all, right? So we want to continuously have this feeling. Chaim. How do you rectify, how do you complete this? That you don't lose consciousness of Hashem, not even for one moment. Like the Rama wrote in Orach Chaim in the Shulchan Aruch, right? Shiviti Hadonai lenigdi tamid. Uklal gadol b'Torah u'b'ma'alot hatzadikim asher olechim lifnei ha'Elohim. Right? The fact of placing Hashem, Yud Kei Vav Kei, in front of you constantly, tamid. That is a big principle in Torah and all the levels of the tzaddikim that are walking straight in front of Hashem, in front of Elohim, right? In front of the, right? Placing Hashem, having Hashem in front of you at all moments, constantly, tamid, constantly, at every given moment thinking about Hashem. The Katav Shama Gra, the Gra wrote there, the Vilna Gaon, V'zeu kol ma'alat tzaddikim. What did the Gra say about this part? This is all of the greatness of the tzaddikim. Why are they great? Because they place Hashem in front of them at any given moment, constantly. Second time he's bringing the Ramchal, right? That Dveikut hu שיהיה ליבו של האדם מתדבק כל כך בשם יתברך, עד שכבר יסור מלפנות ולהשגיח על שום דבר זולתו. Right? What is Dveikut? The Ramchal says that your heart is so clinging to Hashem, so strong to Hashem, that you already stop turning and thinking about anything that's separate from Hashem. Your whole entire head is constantly on that. You don't move from that reality. What is the purpose of this? What is the main idea here in Dveikut? To be clinging so much to your Creator, at any given moment, at least when you're coming to do some avodah, the chabura, the praying, learning Torah, doing a mitzvah, at least then, cling to Hashem with all your might. Go into Dveikut more. Don't forget, that is a mitzvah itself. It's one of the Doraita mitzvah, to cling to Hashem. Right? Having this, constantly thinking about Hashem, being clinging to Hashem, this is a huge level. Dveikut itself, every Jew has to be working on that. Being in Dveikut all the time, huge thing. Giant avodah, that's the level of the tzaddikim, right? But working on Dveikut, that's a mitzvah every single Jew has to work on. Every Jew according to his level, according to your power, according to where you're at in life. Every Jew can and needs to go into Dveikut with Hashem. To feel Hashem with your whole entire heart. With an immense, huge internal connection. Set for yourself a time to think about Hashem and to cling to Him. Specifically when you come to pray, and when you come to learn, and when you go to do mitzvot. With the time, you'll merit to go up and up in this work. Right? Until you get to Dveikut b'shleimut, until you're completely clinging to Hashem at any moment. Shiviti Hashem lenigdi tamid. Right? You never take Yud Kei Vav Kei from in front of your eyes. huge level. B'ezrat Hashem, may all of Am Yisrael get to this. Amen. Right? So what are the ways of Dveikut? Right? We want to get to a place where I'm clinging to Hashem with immense pleasure. That's the natural outcome. If it doesn't feel good, you're not doing Dveikut. Right? Mikol makom, kol chibur shel adam im Hashem yitbarach nikra b'shem haklali Dveikut. Any connection, right? Even though we're talking about we want to get to the pleasant, amazing feeling, any connection to Hashem by a Jew is called Dveikut. ובאמת, לא תמיד האדם זוכה להרגיש את התענוג שבדבקות. You don't always merit to feel the pleasantness that's in דבקות. אמנם גם אז הוא צריך להיות מחובר ומקושר. Even then you have to be connected and you have to be, tied to Hashem. שלא יעזוב את השם יתברך, so you don't leave Hashem. כי זה עיקר עבודה, this is the main work. להיות מחובר עם השם יתברך ולחיות את מציאותו. To be connected to Hashem and to live out His reality. לחיות את החיים איתו, to live our lives with Him. עם שייכות עמוקה אליו, with a deep connection to Him. ואם זוכה, גם ירגיש את האור והתענוג שבזה. And if you merit to do this, you're also going to feel the light and you're going to feel the pleasantness in this. וזה עיקר העבודה של יהודי. This is the main work of the Jew. להגיע לכך שההכרה שהשם יתברך איתו כל הזמן. To get to the recognition that Hashem is with you at all time. And that Hashem is everything. תהיה כל כך חיה אצלו. That recognition should be so alive inside of you. עד שכך הוא יסתכל וירגיש באופן טבעי. Until you, that's how you feel naturally. Your natural feeling is that Hashem is with me, Hashem is everything. זה עיקר האמונה. This is the main aspect of our אמונה in Hashem. זה נקודה הפנימית המרכזית שבשבילה האדם בא לעולם. This is the main point that you came to the world for. Right? והנה יש כמה דרכים כיצד לזכות לחיות את מציאות השם יתברך. There's a few different ways that you can come to live the reality of Hashem, to be connected to Him. And the main ways are Torah, Tefillah, Machshavot, Argashot, Veyichudim. Torah, learning Torah. Tefillah, prayer. Machshavot, your thoughts. Argashot, your emotions. And Yichudim, and unifications. וכי להצליח באמת, in order to really be successful, צריך האדם להתרגל ללך בכל הדרכים. You have to get used to going in all of these different ways. And investing times to acquire each one according to their own level. Right? ובמשך הזמן, with the time, יזכה לדעת מהי הדרך המתאימה לכל הזמן. With the time, you're going to know what is the proper way for every time. עד שיזכה להיות דבוק תמיד בהשם יתברך, until you merit to always be connected to Hashem, always be clinging to Hashem. בכל זמן ובמצב לפי עניינו. Any time according to what's going on. First things first, Torah. What is Dveikut in Torah? הדרך החזקה ביותר לזכות לדבקות ולהחזיק בדבקות הוא על ידי לימוד התורה הקדושה. The best way, the most certain way to hold on to your dveikut and to get stronger with dveikut is learning Torah. כי השם יתברך צמצם את עצמו כביכול בתוך התורה. Hashem, so to say, constricted himself and placed himself inside the Torah. בתוך כל עוד ועוד בתורה הקדושה יש אור השם יתברך. In every single letter of the Holy Torah, there's the light of Hashem. Like the rabbi said, Ana nafshi ktivati yehevati. Right? Hashem, נכון זה ככה? Ana nafshi ktivati yehevati. Ana nafshi yehevati. כתיבת יהבת. No? קיצור, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wrote his soul inside the Torah, right? וממילא על ידי לימוד אותיות התורה הקדושה, by way of learning the holy letters in the Holy Torah, יכולים להידבק בהשם יתברך, you can cling to Hashem, ולקבל את אורו אשר בא, to receive the light that is inside the Torah. וזוהי אבן היסוד להצלחה אמיתית בעבודת השם יתברך. This is the fundamental stone of success in serving Hashem. בפרט בעניין הדבקות, specifically when we're talking about דבקות, לקבוע עיתים לתורה, to set certain times that you learn Torah. ללמוד בקדושה ודבקות, to learn with sanctity, with purity, and with דבקות, בכל דרכי הלימוד, with all the different ways of learning. Right? Ben bi'iyun, ben b'pkiyut, ben b'chazara. Whether it's trying to get a lot of ground covered in the Torah, whether it's going deeper on a certain point until you really get the whole entire idea before you move on, and whether it's reviewing what you've already learned. You have to do all three of them. You have to do it with purity, you have to do it with sanctity, and from the intention to cling to Hashem Yitbarach. And you have to set times to do this. Specifically when you see that the dveikut that you got, that you received, is starting to kind of stop. Run to deal with Torah. And learn with simcha, with happiness. Even if you feel that it's hard for you, get stronger and overcome that desire to get weak and work hard in the Torah. According to where you're at, push yourself. everything's dependent on that. Because Dveikut shebetorah en la gvul. The Dveikut that you can get out of the Torah has no limitations. ועל ידי התורה הקדושה יהודי יכול להיכנס תמיד להיכל המלך ולהידבק בהשם יתברך. By way of the holy Torah, a Jew can, whenever he wants, constantly get into the chamber of the king and to cling to Hashem. והנה עצם לימוד התורה, just the fact that you're sitting to learn Torah, מדבק את האדם אל הבורא. It clings you automatically to Hashem. וכל שכן אם יחשוב במפורש הזה, even more so if you're actually having the kavanah, you're actually thinking about learning with Dveikut. Just learning Torah causes Dveikut. Learning Torah with the intention to have Dveikut, imagine what that is. Before you come to learn, right? You come to Kollel, you finish Shacharit, you come to learn. הריני לומד את התורה הקדושה כאשר ציווני בורי כדי להידבק בו יתברך. I am learning the holy Torah according to what my Creator commanded me in order to cling to Him, blessed be He. Say that before you start to learn. וכאשר אדם אומר מילה של תורה או תפילה, when you say a word of prayer or a word of Torah, והוא יודע שבכל אות ואות מונח וטמון אור אלוקי, and you know that in every single letter and letter, there's hidden inside there godly light, אז הוא יכול לזכות להרגיש את האור בעת אמירתו, then you'll merit to start to feel the light when you go to say the word. בפרט אם חוזר על אותם מילים, specifically if you say the same words again and again and again a few times. ואז, then, לפעמים, ייתכן שמרוב הרגשתו באור אלוקי הטמון במילה הקדושה. It could be that you repeated that word for so much feeling of that godly light that's hidden inside that word, that holy word. מרוב שירגיש שמחשבתו במילה הזו מקרבת אותו אל האור אלוקי. And because so much contemplation on that word, it's going to bring you closer to the godly light. הוא ירגיש שאינו רוצה לעזוב את המילה. You feel that you don't even want to move on to the next word. You're stuck on that one word. ומרוב שהוא מתענג בתענוג נפלא לומר את המילה. You take so much immense pleasure just saying that one word of the tefillah and to think about it and to connect by way of it to Hashem. לכן הוא מושך ומעריך באמירת המילה הזאת. Therefore you take longer and you take your time saying that one word. מרוב הרגשת הדבקות. Because you feel so much light, so much dveikut from that one word that you start to make it really long, right? And you don't even move on to the next word. You feel the light coming out of it. וטוב שבתחילת לימודו, right? And it's beneficial that at the beginning of your learning, ישתדל להרגיש את האור האלוקי שטמון בתוך המילים הראשונות בלימודו. Try to feel the godly light that's hidden inside the very few beginning words of what you're about to learn. The beginning has it all. וכמו כן יחזק את מחשבות הדבקות במשך לימוד. So too, while you're learning, strengthen your dveikut. וטוב לקבוע לעצמו שבכל פעם שנצטרך להפסיק מלימודו מאיזה טעם. Try to set for yourself that anytime you have to stop learning for whatever reason, right? For a little bit you have to stop. כגון לצאת לענייני גופו, like you have to go to the bathroom or something like that, או לקחת ספר, or to go get out to get a different book. אזי בזמן הזה ישנן לעצמו שוב את מחשבות הדבקות. Then in that time, anytime you have to stop learning for whatever reason, then repeat to yourself, dveikut, 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 right? Because when you're learning, sometimes you're in learning. You're not really, like, that is dveikut, so you're distracted. Okay, so you have to go get a book. You get stopped from learning, go back to dveikut, dveikut, dveikut. When you go back to learn again, then so it's continuous. Now in tefillah, in prayer, how do we do this? הדרך השנייה להתחבר להידבק אל השם יתברך היא הדיבור עם השם יתברך. The second way to connect to Hashem is by way of talking to Hashem. כי על ידי הדיבור, by way of talking, נוצר חיבור עם השם יתברך, we create a connection to Hashem, כי הדיבור הוא כמו חבל המקשר בין השניים. Speech is like a rope that's tying two together, that's connecting two people together, two things together. וכל סוג תפילה נוצר חיבור עם השם יתברך. Any type of tefillah creates a connection with Hashem, בין תפילות הקבועות ובין על ידי אמירת תהילים שיש בהם כוח עצום לדבק את הנפש הישראלית אל אביה שבשמיים. Whether it's the set prayers that we have, שחרית מנחה ערבית, or whether it's reading תהילים, which has immense power to take the Israeli soul and connect it to his father up in heaven, לפי שהם השתפכות נפשו של דוד המלך. דוד מלך ישראל אל השם יתברך. What is תהילים? It's השתפכות הנפש. It's the outpouring of the soul of the king of Israel, David HaMelech, to Hashem. ודוד המלך כולל את כל ישראל. דוד המלך includes inside his neshama all of the souls of Israel. לפיכך נפשו של כל יהודי מוצאת את פנימיותה Betoch Sefirat Tehillim. Therefore, every single Jew, if they read Tehillim the right way, will find the most internal part of their neshama hidden inside that book. Specifically, even more so, the words itbodedut, when you come to talk to Hashem, the words that you want to say from your heart. And you spill out your soul in front of Hashem. In the language that you're used to talking in. That you can do at any time. At any given moment, you can open your mouth and talk to the Creator. You can open up and tell Him everything you're going through. You can tell Him all the feelings you have in your heart, all the emotions you're going through. And your longing, your desires, everything that you want. Right? Whether you have set times to do it, and talk to Hashem, whether you're walking, whether you thought about it, whether you miss Him and you just want to open your mouth and say, thank you Hashem, I love you Hashem, whatever it is, you can do it whenever you want, you can open your mouth and connect to Hashem. Right? Next way is machshavot, is thoughts. Ba'ofen prati, in a more individual way, הדרך להתחבר עם השם יתברך ולחיות אותו, היא על ידי מחשבות בורא יתברך. Another way to do this is by thinking about Hashem, having contemplations, thoughts on Hashem. כי המחשבה היא העולם הפנימי של האדם. Thoughts is the internal world of the person. ואם הוא מתרגל לחשוב באופן נכון, if you make yourself used to thinking the proper way, אזי באופן טבעי הוא חי את האלוקות. In a natural way, you will be living godliness. וחי נכון, and you're living the right way. ומחשבה בהשם יתברך מקשרת אותך למציאות אלוקית. Thinking about God, right, connects you to godly reality. וככל שאתה מרבה לחשוב בזה, ככה האמת נחקקת אצלך. The more you get used to thinking about godliness, the more that truth is engraved into you. עד שמרבה לחשוב ולדבר, יזכה לראות אלוקות בכל דבר. Person who thinks more about Hashem and talks more about Hashem will see godliness in everything. ולראות את המציאות האלוקית המרוממת שתמונה בכל העולם. You see the exalted godliness that is hidden in everything in the world. שזו מדרגת הדבקות, לראות רק את השם יתברך. This is the level of Dveikut, to only see Hashem. והכל תלוי במחשבה של האדם. Everything depends on the thoughts of a person. כי ככל שיחשוב ברציפות בהשם יתברך, the more you think constantly, meaning one connected thought about Hashem, כך יגיע לדבקות טבעית. That's the way you'll get to natural dveikut, natural clinging to Hashem. Dainu, meaning, שמציאות השם יתברך תהיה אצלו בהירה. The reality of Hashem for you will be clear. עד שהוא יראה אותה כמציאות גמורה, until you see it as a complete reality. וחיה את מציאות השם יתברך כמציאות טבעית. You're going to live Hashem's reality as your natural reality. ולא ירפה, אלא יחשוב בכך עוד פעם ועוד פעם. Don't get weak on this. Think about it again and again, באופן ששטף המחשבות יהיה עסוק כפי כוחו במציאות האלוקית. Right? That your sequence of thoughts will be constantly busy with thinking of the godly reality. ועל ידי ריבוי המחשבות באופן תמידי, and by way of this immense amount of thoughts in a constant way, על מציאות השם יתברך, about the godly reality, ועל ידי שהאדם בטל לפניו, and by way of nullifying yourself in front of that reality, יגיע האדם למצב שהוא חי ממש את מציאות השם יתברך. You will get to a point where you're really living the reality of Hashem. וירגיש שהוא יתברך, הוא המציאות הטבעית. And you're going to feel that Hashem, He is nature. Hashem is the natural feeling. ואז הרגשה והמחשבה בו יתברך, and then the thoughts about Hashem and the emotions that you have towards Hashem, וההתנהגות וההתבטלות אליו ולהנהגתו, תהפוך להיות הרגשה טבעית. You nullifying Hashem to accepting Him the way He's ruling the world, seeing Him in everything, that's going to be your nature. That's going to be that's how you are. ויכול הוא האדם להתעלות למדרגה כזאת שיהפוך את כל מה שרואה בעולם לראייה אלוקית. Every one of us could get to a point where everything you see is godliness. You see everything with a godly perspective. Because naturally, you're clinging to Hashem and everything. You have such an intense connection with Him because you think about Him so much. And when you come to learn and when you come to pray, you're always looking to connect to Hashem, that you are connected to Hashem. So when you see with His eyes. By way of this, you elevate yourself in the whole entire world. From being a small reality, that's living its own self, that's living in its own bubble, להיות חלק נכלל ונספג ונמס בתוך האור האלוקי, שהוא המציאות הגבוהה והאמיתית. To be, instead of that, some small reality that's in its own bubble, to be a part, included, and absorbed, melting into the godly light, that it is the highest and truest reality. V'zohi Dveikut Hashlema. This is the complete Dveikut. L'sakel al Hashem D'barach k'miuchad imanu legamri. To look at Hashem as completely unified with us. Be'ofen shebechlal en mitziut acheret. In a way that there's no actual reality at all. There's no way there's a different reality. Ela kol ze rak chiyut elokut. It's only just godly life, godly vitality. And your whole entire relation and way you relate to the world will be in a godly way. You have to take breaks during the day to refreshen your experiential memory of Hashem. And to think thoughts of knowledge of emunah, knowledge of my faith in Hashem. והרגשות של דבקות and emotions of דבקות, וכך על ידי שיעורר עצמו מידי פעם יכול להחזיק בדבקות כל היום. And by way of you waking yourself up a few times throughout the day, you'll be able to hold on to your dveikut throughout the whole entire day. Nearly done, guys. Just the last part on emotions and on yichudim, and then like 4 more pages. But okay, Yehudi, right? So emotions. Yehudi tzarich lachush tamid et dveikut b'or Hashem yitbarach. A Jew constantly needs to feel tangibly this light of Dveikut with Hashem. To feel how Hashem is with you at any time, and that the Shekhinah is on top of your head, hovering there. And to make yourself a vehicle for her expression in the world. And to feel how the godly light is surrounding you on all of your sides. And you are surrounded and completely encompassed by the love of Hashem and His infinite light. And to feel the love and the dveikut, the clinging to Hashem and the awe of Hashem in front of Him, that He fills up the whole entire world with His honor. To feel that you are so clinging to Hashem, that you're so close to Hashem, you're like a baby in its mother's arms. Feel how everything is just filled with godly light. And the light is just completely surrounding you on all sides. And you're completely encompassed. You're mamash dipping yourself, being immersed into the godly light. Therefore Hashem made it that you always feel that you're at the center of the ball, center of the earth. You always feel that the heavens are completely on top of you, so that we'll be able to comprehend what it feels like to have Shekhinah on you at all times. Any place that a person finds himself, you have a feeling that as if the heavens are completely directed on you. And you're in the middle. Really, the truth is Hashem is with every single Jew in a very individual, private level. We need to feel this tangibly, to connect to Hashem with our whole heart. In the beginning, try to feel this immense, wonderful pleasure of connection to Hashem. When you're dealing with your work, your kedusha, your avodat Hashem, right? When you go to learn Torah, when you go to pray, when you go to do a mitzvah, and think and have intention, and say to yourself in your head, I want to be a vehicle for the light of the Holy Shekhinah. I'm coming to do a mitzvah, I'm coming to learn Torah, I'm coming to pray. That means the Shekhinah is going to come down on me. I want to be the vehicle for her expression. I want to be there for her. I want to be there to receive, to be that expression, that vehicle. And completely focus your thought until you start to feel mamash how the Shekhinah is dwelling upon you. And how the supernal light is surrounding you with immense pleasure. An immense, wonderful connection. And from so much light, you'll feel ishtokekut atzuma elav yitbarach. You'll feel this immense pleasure passion to connect to Hashem. V'bitul atzum lefanav yitbarach. An immense nullification of nullifying yourself to be included in His light. Yachad im irati romemut mipnei el gadol v'nora. Included with that, fear and awe from the level of might and awesomeness that is Hashem. After you get used to this, when you come to do a mitzvah and to learn Torah, you'll be able to use the thinking in the back of your head about Hashem constantly, according to your power. Little by little, you're going to ascend and get better and better at this. Od ve'od, more and more. And the last part is yichudim, right? The last way that we said we could feel it, right? We had Torah, tefillah, emotions, and yichudim. Machshava, thoughts.
Yes, but yichudim we didn't do.
No, yichudim we're going to do now. So we had Torah, tefillah, machshavot, and argashot. We had Torah, prayer, thoughts, and emotions, and now yichudim, okay, unifications. There's an additional part of the idea of thoughts. This is the idea of thinking and contemplating holy names. It's good for every Jew, right, that serves Hashem, to get used to thinking about holy names. Specifically if you feel the internal aspect of them. Right, this intensifies right, this intensifies the feeling of connection to Hashem Yitbarach, right? Whoever gets used to doing yichudim and thinking about these names of Hashem and getting to the meaning of them, you're going to see wonders. There's a lot of different unifications and permutations and orders of names. The main idea, it's equal for everybody. Anybody who's working on themselves and trying to ascend, yichudim is for you. For example, everyone in their eyes, you can close your eyes and you can think of Yud Kei Vav Kei, right? And while drawing the name, right, with your spiritual eye, right, the meaning of this holy name, that Hashem is bringing existence to everything, and He by Himself is the only reality, right? So while you're drawing Yud Kei Vav Kei in your third eye, in your head, right, you are feeling the reality that Hashem is bringing existence to everything, and He is the only true reality. So too, draw in your head the name Adnut, Aleph and the letter Dalet and the letter Nun and the letter Yud, and think that Hashem Yitbarach is the master over everything. And He is the king, the master ruling over everything. And think while you're thinking that name of Adnut in your head, I'm taking upon myself the yoke of heaven with immense love and happiness. And go over this holy name again and again. With patience and with contemplation. And while you're thinking on this, you're arousing your heart to be clinging to Hashem. And this is a huge key to strengthening your emunah and your dveikut and your connection to Hashem. Anybody can do this at any given time. In the beginning, do it a little bit. And with the time, you can do more and more as you grow. We already went to, right? There's a whole chapter on this in a different book, but it's very, very important. Yichudim are very, very important, right? And then we want to end off with, that's it, 2 last ideas. How to elevate our ga'ava, our pride, right? Pride, your chest, Tiferet is the body. So then one of the negative sides is haughtiness, is pride, is taking glory. I did something amazing. People give me pride, right? So the sumira, the negative side, meaning what do I have to run away from when it comes to this idea of Tiferet, is my pride, my ego. The fact that we feel pride, what is it? It's a godly light that belongs to the world of Tiferet. We feel it as pride, the klipa version of it, right? This light was sent to arouse you and to give you the power to have Dveikut in Hashem. Hashem's trying to send you an opportunity to elevate in Dveikut. But since, because we sin, the power is given to the klipa to cover it up, and to cover up as if they have the power, as if the light is theirs. Instead of the light coming to you in a clear way, and the Jew feels, right, sees and feels that from Shamayim they're giving him the ability to have Dveikut to Hashem. Instead of that, it gets covered up until it appears to the person as if he should be prideful, as if he should pump his chest up a bit, right? And what is the way to fix it? First things first, straight away get over your pride and your ego. Don't let it dwell in your heart. And then straight away you go into the work of Dveikut, of clinging to Hashem. Meaning, go into feelings of Dveikut in Hashem. Feel how Hashem is with you, mamash. And arouse yourself to feel this immense connection with your heart to Hashem. And by way of dealing with Dveikut, then there automatically you're going to have a nullification of your ga'ava, of your pride. That same light that appeared as if it's pushing you towards pride and ego and false pride, that is the same light that will help you to intensify your dveikut, because that's the real essence of that light that came to you. So too, when you feel an arousal of your ego, of your pride, of something that you did maybe, you can straight away go into dveikut to Hashem. That way you're uprooting and sweetening the pride, the ego, from its root. And you take the light from inside and you use it in the proper way. Therefore, anytime you overcome ga'ava, you overcome pride and ego, straight away you need to go into feeling dveikut in Hashem and to warm up your heart to feeling Hashem with thoughts, speech, and actions. Right? Ga'ava and dveikut are two opposites. Pride and dveikut are two opposites. Right? A proper connection to Hashem is only when a person feels small and lacking. Small and lacking. If you don't feel small and lacking, you can't connect to Hashem. You can't want Hashem. When do you seek out to connect to the light of Hashem? When you understand that without it, you don't have any reality. You're nothing without it. Only when you understand that can you seek it out. Only then will you really nullify yourself to Hashem and connect to Him and cling to Him in truth. If you always feel yourself and you think that you're important, then Hashem doesn't come to go out of His way to connect with you. Because you're not really seeking Him out. A big principle, Hashem only dwells His presence and connects to a place that is nullified in front of Him. Why? Because that place serves as a revelation, as a vehicle, as a tool for the revelation of Hashem's light. And now Hashem feels, okay, I can give down this light by way of this vessel. And there's going to be a proper outcome by way of it. Right? I can trust Him to reveal my light the right way. He's nullified to me. A person with pride, that takes all of the pride and the light to himself. You can't give him godly light. Because he's using the godly light in order to increase the creation, not the creator. And there he's covering up the reality of the creator. This is a lie, this is falseness that Hashem doesn't want in the world. Also to the person, if they bring you light, and by way of that light you start to build your character, right, and your ego, it's only going to be bad for him. Therefore Hashem has mercy on that person. He doesn't give him the light. You use my light to make you bigger. It's better you don't give it. כי כמה שהאדם צריך לשאוף ולעמול ולהתעלות ולהידבק ולהתרומם, כך מצד שני הוא צריך להבין שכלפי השם יתברך אין לנברא שום ערך. Right? As much as you have to try to get holy and be successful and cling to Hashem and to work on yourself and to get better and better, on the other side of the coin, you have to realize you are nothing in front of Hashem. Nothing. וכל כמה שהאדם מתעורר יותר, the more a person grows, הוא מבין שכל התכלית היא רק להתקלל בו יתברך. The more he understands that the whole entire purpose is only to be included in Hashem. ולהיות חלק ממנו יתברך, and to be a part of Hashem. ולהיות דבוק בו בלי שום הרגשות מציאות עצמית. To be clinging to Hashem without any feeling of myself. אלא ירגיש כלול באור החיים כמרכבה לגלות אותו בעולם. And you'll be included rather in the light of life and to be a vehicle to reveal it in this world. Last little thing. The Yichud. What is the Nikud for Tiferet? Shem HaKadosh HaShayach L'Sefirat Tiferet Hu Shem Havaya B'Nikud Cholem. Right? Yud Kei Vav Kei with Cholem. The dot on the top left. Hashem HaShayach L'Sefirat HaNetzach Hu Shem Havaya B'Nikud Chirik. And the name that's for Chirik is the dot at the bottom. Right? Why are we mentioning that now? When a person wants to arouse Dveikut in his soul. Right? It said you want to contemplate on Dveikut right now. You want to work on your Dveikut. Have intention is Yud Kei Vav Kei with Cholem, with the dot on top, right? And you try to arouse your heart with feelings of Dveikut more and more and more. And Bekoach has Gulat HaMachshava, B'Shem HaKadosh, by the power that's in contemplating these holy names, will come down the light of Tiferet on you, and it will help you to arouse in your heart more and more the feelings of Dveikut to Hashem. And this Yichud is also beneficial to arouse the feelings of Dveikut in front of Hashem and to strengthen them. And it's also beneficial to get out of Ga'ava, right? And to go into Dveikut. Straight away when you feel Ga'ava, you feel pride and ego, in your heart, clothes start to arouse feelings of Dveikut to Hashem while thinking on Yud Kei Vav Kei with a Cholem. Be'ezrat Hashem, b'siyata dishmaya, Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen.